Good evening, fellow Spurs supporters and fans of the beautiful game. Jason here at Exodus FC, here for another time to talk Tottenham tonight and catch up on what was a big day in the preseason. So the West Ham game ended up being a 3-2 loss, but a lot of bright spots. Definitely good to see new addition Destiny Udogie get a sweet header flick kind of goal off a corner from Perisic, and surprise, surprise, Lo Celso having a great game for Tottenham, actually showing that he's probably worth keeping around if we can. But I have a feeling he does probably want to go still. In terms of the other play, defense, it was as lacking as we expected. Overall, no real surprises there. We didn't see Eric Dyer and Sanchez. Tanganga didn't overly impress. But it's early. I figure it's nothing unexpected. I'm confident that Ange can work a little bit with what we have, and hopefully there will be some new additions. Interestingly, the word today is that we're potentially raiding Blackburn Rovers, who are in the championship currently. Ashley Phillips, well-regarded 18-year-old center back. Looks like we might be able to poach him because they're having financial difficulties, and the only problem is, it looks to me from his heat map like he's a right-sided center back, and obviously he's young, inexperienced, probably not ready for this year, more of a future prospect. So it doesn't really solve our current center back issues. I don't believe Dyer played yet. I think he wasn't in this game. And I wasn't able to watch it. It was 3 a.m. and I was sleeping happily. So it's mostly been a matter of catching up today on the reports, and the consensus has been pretty good. Other bright spots, Manor Solomon looked really bright and had some good moments. Biggest significant improvement was we had 70% possession for the game. I mean, that's incredible compared to what we're used to over the last few years, and by all accounts it was just a lack of being clinical at the end. Both Kane and Richarlison were not particularly sharp, and not to be no surprise at all, considering both came back at like Wednesday of last week and have barely been practicing with the team. So beyond that, the other end on our defense too, the two of the goals we gave up were basically corner situations or cross situations where we didn't have good pressure on the passer, and we didn't have nice big strong center backs to head the ball away. So hopefully we'll find a solution to that before the start of the season. And it sounds like it's in the works. I'm fairly confident we'll end up having someone, at least one new player. But I was really hoping they would be here in time for preseason. So beyond that, other things of note with the team today. I think that's the main news. Other players. Madison, there was some good play through the middle, and the highlights I saw looked really promising. I'm looking forward to actually being able to watch a preseason game soon, so hopefully the next one I'll be able to figure it out. In other topics, I recently watched the Harry Kane's appearance on Hot Ones, the YouTube interview show that I was only vaguely familiar with prior to this, and it was pretty entertaining. It was a good interview, and I've watched a few other ones while waiting for that one, and a lot of people just seem to go with the water that they supply at the table when they're going through the 10 levels of hot sauce torment. But he did what I would have done as well, which is go right to the milk. They also have that option. And even though he is apparently not one for spicy food in particular, I was impressed. He did well and successfully navigated the challenge. The interview questions themselves were okay. They weren't super illuminating or didn't reveal any transfer thoughts or that kind of thing. But and actually, there was one funny part. There was kind of a missed opportunity where the host was finishing up with some questions about terminology in soccer, and I think one was like, what is a poacher, or what is a dead ball specialist, or something like that. And anyway, I wish they, had he been a knowledgeable Tottenham fan, he could have gotten in a good joke about Harry Kane's lack of prowess in free kicks, but missed opportunity. We'll survive. But anyway, an entertaining little bit of YouTube that Harry Kane took part in, and he's not the most. He's a good guy, but he's not like the most entertaining personalities, I guess. Probably much like myself, actually. But anyway, it was fun to see that, and the other piece of media that I saw recently that was soccer related was I watched the Peter Crouch documentary that's on Amazon Prime right now, and I'm familiar with Peter Crouch, and had known that he had played at Tottenham briefly, and actually had come up through the academy, I guess, which I didn't know that. But man, I did not realize the amount of abuse that he got coming up through the ranks. That was painful and brutal. And so anyway, it was for him to come out that way and do as well as he's doing, just a credit to him, to his perseverance. But the other thing that really stood out to me about that was how key it was in his career for him to get a manager that just really believed in his ability, in Harry Redknapp at Southampton, and pretty much that kicked off his career from there. And he's definitely had some rough spots after that, in terms of, I had no idea about his stint at Liverpool, where they signed him after he did so well at Southampton, and in particular against them. And then it took him, like, he was starting every game, and it literally took him 18 games until he scored his first goal. And in one of those games, he actually, like the 17th game or something, somewhere in that sequence, there was a penalty kick. Of course, Steven Gerrard, it was always the guy for Liverpool at that time to take penalties, and Crouch came and took it off him, and because he was so desperate. And actually, I mean, kind of credit to Gerrard to, like, be that generous and give him that chance. But then he blew it, and wow, I mean, what a low moment. But anyway, the and the best part, though, was the goal that kind of finally got his mojo back for him and got him scoring goals for Liverpool again, was the most amazingly ugly shot I've ever seen in my life, where it was from outside the box, and he kicked it, and it seemed like it kind of got deflected by the defender, and it just went in this massive rainbow arcing up, and then it just came down and crawled under the bar over the keeper's hand to give him that goal. And just unbelievable. But anyway, that's a tough to watch at times documentary, but definitely fun. And then, yeah, the one other thing about Crouch, of course, is his robot celebration. I mean, that is about as iconic a celebration as you could want, and that actually makes me think about how relatively bland Harry Kane's celebration is, for being one of the best goal scorers of all time. Yeah, it's kind of funny that and actually Crouch, he did it a fair amount, but then he came up with other ones, and they were usually pretty funny too. And I don't know. I think there could be more creativity in goal scoring celebrations. Not that I have any great ideas at this point, but I would like to see more, I think. And so let's see. Anything else that I wanted to talk about? I think the next preseason game is this weekend, like Sunday maybe. I'm definitely gonna have to check further and see. Theoretically, on the weekend it should be easier to get up early or stay up late if I need to. But yeah, I definitely want to see the next one live if I can. And of course, World Cup is starting up soon. I think US plays Vietnam on like Friday, so I'll need to figure out when that one is and get my schedule and viewing capabilities ironed out. Fox shows are not a problem typically, but FS1 maybe a little bit trickier to work out. And so I think on that note, I will call it a day, and I will talk to you all again soon. So stay well, and remember, to dare is to do.